Hi, I'm Don Dawson. You've probably heard that workplace safety doesn't happen by accident. Today, we're going to look at a powerful tool that can build safety into your organization and how you can help. Workplace safety is too important to try and figure it out on the fly or to leave it to chance. Of course, one systematic approach to improving safety is to learn from your mistakes. When an accident happens, you can look at why it happened and introduce policies, procedures, and equipment to ensure that another one doesn't happen the same way again. But when you're trying to strengthen your organization's safety culture, you don't want to wait for trouble to occur before making improvements. That's why safety-conscious companies are taking a more proactive approach by conducting safety audits. These analyze hazards, identify strengths and weaknesses in the existing safety program, and recommend ways to improve it in the future. Everyone in your facility can contribute to making a safety audit work. Let's take a closer look at the process and what you can do to help. You can't find solutions to problems you don't know about. That's why a workplace analysis is the first step in any safety audit. It's basically a comprehensive search for hazards at your facility. A workplace analysis typically starts with a physical inspection of the work environment. It looks for general hazards in the facility, like clutter, damaged or uneven flooring, and insufficient lighting. It also examines tools and equipment to ensure that they are right for the jobs being performed and that they are in good condition. The analysis can even include assessment of the ergonomics and organization of individual workstations. In addition to a physical inspection, a workplace analysis can also examine the policies and procedures that are used at your facility, because they're critical for on-the-job safety too. In most cases, your company's safety director, facility manager, or department supervisor will be responsible for conducting the analysis. But you can help them in several important ways. After all, you do your job every day. Your knowledge and opinions are important to your company's safety program. So they may request that you conduct an inspection of your own work area, tools, and equipment. And you could be asked to think about how you do your job and make any recommendations about how it could be done more safely. It's important that you immediately report any problems that you notice to your supervisor, facility manager, or company safety director. That's why they asked for your help in the first place. Another area a workplace analysis will focus on is your facility's system of controls. These are physical or procedural controls that your facility uses to minimize the hazards associated with the work you do. They are called a system of controls because they work together to protect you. None of them are meant to stand alone. They typically include administrative controls, engineering controls, and personal protective equipment. Administrative controls are the rules and procedures that are set up to make your facility as safe a place to work as possible. For example, a no smoking policy in an area that contains flammable materials is there to help prevent a fire or explosion from occurring. Minimizing exposures to hazardous materials by using shorter work shifts or rotating work schedules is another example of the use of administrative controls. Engineering controls are physical control mechanisms
that are in place in your facility or on your equipment that help protect you from hazards. For instance, if your work involves hazardous fumes, exhaust vents may have been installed to remove these contaminants from your work area. A safety guard on a machine is another example of an engineering control. It's there to protect you from dangerous moving parts, such as gears or sharp blades. It's important that you utilize all of the engineering controls that your facility has in place. They are there to help keep you from being injured and should never be disabled or removed. Personal protective equipment, PPE, is the third type of control that's used in a facility to prevent injuries. Remember that even though we put on PPE before we work, it is actually the last line of defense against injury. It's used to protect you from problems that might occur even though administrative and engineering controls are in place, not instead of them. As part of a workplace analysis, your supervisor will want to make sure that you're using the correct PPE for the work you do and using it properly. You should also examine your PPE yourself to check to see that it is in good condition. Gloves that have worn thin or cracked safety glasses will not protect you and can give you a false sense of security. While you may not have had a part in setting up the controls in your facility, it is important that everyone in your facility use them. So as part of a safety audit, you may be asked to monitor how they are working in your area. If you find any potential problems, be sure to report them.
Another important part of the workplace analysis that you may be asked to assist with is an inspection of your own work area, as well as the equipment that you use. This is a part of the safety audit where your help is especially important.
Check to see that all pathways are free from clutter. Blocked aisles can create an immediate tripping hazard. They can also prevent people from getting to safety showers, eye wash stations, fire extinguishers, and exits. And that could be devastating in an emergency. Make sure extension cords are only used when they should be. They aren't meant to be permanent fixtures, just temporary outlets. If you need to string a cord across a walkway, be sure to tape it down so nobody trips. Put them away as soon as you're finished with them. And remember, electricity and water don't mix, so don't run a cord through a puddle.
I'll bet you thought we were finished, but there's more to doing a safety audit than inspecting your workplace and equipment. You also need to take a good long look at yourself.
This self-assessment is a personal audit. Here you really have to take charge. You have to examine how safe you are as a worker and how aware you are of your work area. Start by reviewing your company's standard operating procedures, SOPs, to make sure you know them inside and out. These are the work rules set up by your facility. While SOPs help us to do our jobs more efficiently, they also help to prevent misunderstandings and mistakes that can lead to accidents and injuries. Standard operating procedures are there for a reason. Don't ignore them because you think they aren't important. Following them is essential, and they apply to everyone. And never skip a procedure just because you're in a hurry. Remember, safety is always the top priority. As you continue your personal audit, evaluate your knowledge of your work site. Are you able to locate all exits and fire escapes? Make sure you can find them in the dark. One day you may have to. You need to know where safety showers and eye wash stations are located as well. You'll want to find them in a hurry if you or a coworker are splashed with a hazardous chemical. Find out where the nearest first aid kit is located. If an emergency occurs, you won't want to waste time looking for it. You need to know where fire extinguishers are kept too. Review your knowledge of the various types of extinguishers. Using the wrong type could actually spread a fire instead of putting it out. But remember, only use fire extinguishers if you have been trained and authorized to do so. Speaking of training, the safety training that your facility conducts can help make you aware of potential hazards, as well as how to prevent accidents. During your self-assessment, consider how much you've learned about handling safety problems. Topics your facility provides training on may include general safety issues such as back safety, hearing conservation, and personal protective equipment, and regulatory issues such as hazard communication and lockout/tagout. It is important that you take your company's safety training program seriously so that you are well prepared for any problems you may encounter.
Sometimes, no matter how well trained we are or what steps we take to protect ourselves, no matter how careful we are, accidents still happen.
Another important part of conducting a safety audit is making sure everyone at your facility is prepared for accidents and other emergencies. Although this may normally be the responsibility of others at your company, there are things that you can do to help. Check to see that emergency numbers are posted by all phones in your work area. This includes EMT, fire, and police departments. Remember, in some places you can reach any of these services by simply dialing 911. Any internal emergency numbers should also be posted, such as the safety department, security personnel, or your company's fire and rescue team. It's also important to make sure that all accidents or injuries are reported, even minor ones, so that they can be investigated to determine what caused them. You should report any near misses as well. A near miss is an incident which, under slightly different circumstances, could have resulted in injury or damage to equipment or materials. After all, your company can't fix a problem they don't know about. A safety audit should also verify that an accident investigation process is in place at your facility. An accident investigation is very similar to a safety audit, although it is performed after an accident has occurred. The purpose is still the same: to prevent future accidents.
We've seen that a successful safety audit takes a team effort, and you are an important part of the team. Let's review.
A safety audit starts with a workplace analysis, a physical inspection of your work environment, and an examination of your facility's policies and procedures. An audit will look at the system of controls to see that everyone at the site is following administrative controls, using engineering controls, and wearing appropriate personal protective equipment. Conduct a personal safety audit regularly to examine how safe you are keeping yourself. Know where all fire exits, first aid kits, safety showers, and other emergency devices are located. Always report any safety problems to your supervisor, manager, or safety director.
Workplace safety is important for everyone at your facility. Taking an active part in a safety audit can be your way of helping ensure that you and your coworkers go home safe at the end of every day.